Hello, hello, hello. It is October 25th, Tuesday, October 25th, and we're going to do some live coding tonight. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to hang out with you, and I hope you've had a great week so far. So here's the deal. I have some ideas of what we're going to do on stream tonight, and it's going to be focused around something new. It's going to be focused around the Kaggle 2022 survey results. Now, I haven't really looked at this data much, but I thought it would be a cool thing to try to do on stream. Probably won't be able to compete really against some of the people who are going to put really good work into it, but we're going to try to at least think of a unique and novel idea and then explore the data and see if we can, pull some interesting insights out of it. So we shall see. Again, the Kaggle survey, if you are not familiar with it, let's load this up. Let's load it up here. So this is the Kaggle survey competition. They launch this every year, so it's similar to Stack Overflow. Hey, Diego, welcome to chat. So this is similar to Stack Overflow. Every year they release something. Joe, welcome to the chat. I'll give people a few minutes to come in, and then we'll talk about this for a second. So, yeah, this should be fun. One of the nice things about this also will be that we'll get to try out the Kaggle notebooks, the new notebooks that they have. I don't think we have any reason to try out the double GPUs that they have available, but at least we'll be able to try out the new chips. I think the chips are new. At least the memory is larger, which probably won't matter for this data set. We got Sid in chat. Hey, how's it going, Sid? Welcome. First chatter on Twitch. Let's also put a link to my Twitch here so that hopefully if people come late, they still get to see that in the chat, the old chat room messages. Let's also clean up this chat here. Make it a little wider. There we go. Nice. The new little chat box up here. I think it looks better. Keith, welcome. All right, so let's do this, guys. We're going to look at this data. First things first. So they've been launching this since back in 2017. So this has been around a while here. And we are going to actually probably pull in some of the data that is from past years as well. Now, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I did get in second place one of these years. What was it? 2018? Yeah, 2018. Look at this. I had a pretty popular notebook. So we're going to dive into that and see what's up. I don't know why my audio isn't coming through here. Is it just because it's... Oh, there we go. Now we have a little bit of music maybe in the background. All right. So let's get into it. Chat, thanks for hanging out here. We're going to talk about this survey results. They've been doing back since 2017. Some of the questions have changed over the years, but many of them have stayed the same, which is nice because then we can kind of see how things have changed in the data science community. And yeah, get a feel for that. So let's I have an idea of what I want to focus in on, but I don't want to be too stuck on that until we actually start looking in the data. Now, they do have an executive summary, which I think we should probably take a look at to get a high-level overview of what the survey responses were for this year. And this kind of leads me to the idea that I have that we might try to go down to. So, Data Science ML Survey, it was launched in September 2022. It's the sixth consecutive one that they've conducted, 173 countries. So this is... Just as a data scientist, it's nice to see these really professional executive summary decks that are put together. Whenever there's a big survey or stuff like that, usually a consulting company or internal folks will create an executive slide deck like this. And it's nice to see what is considered real professional data visualization, because it's easy. I know it's easy for me to try to, make all these flashy visualizations or complex ones that people like to, upvote because they think looks nice. But these executive summaries are usually pretty simple, concise, but they get the point across. So we can kind of pull some of that. Hey, more airline data, people are asking. No. And Matos has to go to sleep. Matt, yeah, no more airline data for tonight. Have you looked in it? By the way, if you're looking at my, if you do ! Kaggle in Twitch, it'll bring you to my Kaggle profile. And then you can, from there, click on datasets and check out the datasets that we were working on before. I want to see other people out there. I challenge you all to go into this air flight status prediction dataset and start messing around there, and make a notebook, because so far it's just my notebooks in there. A lot of cool stuff that you guys could do in there, and it's completely free. Yeah, so newbies out there that you're saying in chat, being a newbie is a perfect place to be in if you're joining this chat, because we're all just trying to learn here. So back to this slide deck. So 43 questions. Oh, I don't know why it has tilde 43. So this is interesting that they have over 10 million data scientists on the platform and about 24,000 respondents. So kind of speaks to the active users. I wonder how many respondents have there been in past years. That seems kind of low. Maybe I just have no idea. Full survey results are there. All right. So, big gender imbalance here. This is an issue that we would like to see overcome, where the respondents are more representative of the population. So those that describe as men, women, and then not self-describe. It's stayed pretty consistent over the years. It looks like this is interesting. So India and Japan have these. Well, I guess Japan kind of had a downward trend, and now this last year has jumped back up. But the respondents in India has been increasing over year. Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is what I want to maybe focus in on, is United States of America, the country where I reside, has been going down in their response, I guess as a percent. I want to see this in raw numbers. But then in 2022 kind of had a bounce up, I guess. And then, yeah, let's see what people do with programming. Python is kind of taken over. R is going down, but there's still those that are hanging on to it. All these are as a percentage. I guess you kind of have to do it as a percentage, or else it would sort of represent more so who did and didn't respond. No, scratch that. I don't know. We can look at it both ways. VS Code is now used by over 50% of working data scientists. Yeah, that's definitely been going up. In our studio, down kind of similar with R. MATLAB. Whoa, MATLAB really dropped off after 2018. Colab notebooks are the most popular cloud-based Jupyter notebook environment. That's surprising that it's not more popular, or Kaggle notebooks aren't more popular than Colab, because this is a Kaggle survey. You would think it would be biased in that way. Matt D is saying pandemic effect. Which one's the pandemic effect? US people coming back? Could be. Scikit-learn is the most popular ML framework. I think that's just saying, I mean, it's the most generic. So people probably use sklearn for like train test split or k-fold splitting. But, you know, it's still probably also popular for all the great baseline models that you can use. I don't know what else to take away from this. I guess it does look like PyTorch is going up. But again, this is in percentage of respondents. And then this last one. Transformer architectures are becoming more popular for deep learning models. Anyone who's been working in any machine learning that involves deep learning knows that this is true. Deep learning models, transformers are kind of taken over. It's just what it is. Matt D, I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so cloud computing. All major cloud computing providers saw strong year-over-year growth in 2022. Is this again the percentage of respondents? Yeah, could this be just like the people who are responding, like the types of people who are responding less are also the ones that don't use cloud? I don't know how else to say that. But I guess as the population of Kaggle, all major cloud computing providers did go up. It's interesting to see some of these where it does seem to go up in 2022. TPUs are gaining traction. I'm sure Google likes this when they're showing their stuff. They're asking TPU, which is like a Google-based hardware. They're asking about it specifically, and then it looks like people are using it more. Okay. But still more than 50% they never used it. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. So we've looked at the executive summary. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what's to explore, what they're looking for in our submission. They have raw numbers on who's working with the data, what's happening with machine learning industries. So I don't think all the questions were addressed in this executive summary, clearly. They said that there were 43 questions, and it looks like maybe there were 10 that they focused in on. So we can choose to focus in on some others. There's a lot to explore this year on Kaggle. They're giving out money. Again, let's see what the prizes are. 10K for the top, 5K for second through fifth. Timeline. Okay, so it's already 15 days in, and we got about a month to go. It's mid-December. Oh, no, end of November when the submissions are due. I read this before, but the big summary is that this year Kaggle is launching this survey. They want us to look at a specific community comprised within the survey and how they have changed from year over year. So this is something they didn't usually do in the past because they didn't have multiple years of data, but they're specifically asking how things have changed year over year. So I think we can do this. Challenge objective. Tell a data story about the subset of data science community represented in the survey through a combination of both narrative, text, and exploration. A story can be defined in a number of ways, and that's deliberate. The challenge is to deeply explore through data impact priority. That group can be identified in the macro or micro. Yeah, so they're opening it up pretty much to anything we feel like we want to. Submissions will be evaluated on composition, originality, and documentation. So write good code, don't copy other people's code, and make it well structured. Seems like the big three. Well, don't copy other people's code and make something interesting that's your own is originality. It seems like. To be valid, a submission must be Canadian notebook. Okay, so let's go into code. And now, do you guys like the dark mode? Let me ask you guys. I think people usually prefer seeing this in dark mode. Okay, come on, let's go. And let's create a new notebook. I understand and accept the terms and conditions here. And we're going to say 2022 Kaggle survey results, part 1, Twitch. What does no mean, Sid? You just say no? I know I asked a yes or no question, which is probably my fault. But, yeah. Have I done any projects with GeoPandas? I've been trying to learn how to do graphs on maps. I've done a little bit, but the other main thing that I've used is just the Plotly. Plotly has like a mapping, I don't know what to call it, mapping data structure that you can use to plot on maps, and it's pretty easy to use. I would suggest checking that out. Plotly Express. Okay, so Kaggle Survey 2022 EDA. We're gonna import some stuff, and remember here we have our new session here. So let's see what we got. So CPU. It doesn't tell us how many actual cores we have. Must be more than one because we're doing over 100%. And then we have 30 gigabytes of RAM. That's a lot more than before. And I'm not sure if they upped the disk size. Okay, so before we get too far, I'm going to put out my ideas. My idea is USA people on Kaggle. Where did they go? And then my idea with this is, can we look and see maybe what type of people from the US? So the one thing we saw from the executive summary is that the US population has been going down. Now it did come back up in 2022, and I want to see the raw numbers responding. Hey, I look like Lil Glue. Thank you for subscribing on Twitch. By the way, when I get a subscriber on Twitch, what do? We spin the wheel. Plotly. Did I say poorly? So thanks so much for the subscribing on Twitch. By the way, if you subscribe with Prime, like I look like Lil Goo does. Okay, I have to do this. Kevin! All right, let's scream Kevin. If you subscribe with Prime, though, it costs you absolutely nothing. It doesn't auto renew, so that's the downside for me. But it comes out of Jeff Bezos's pocket. I guess it costs your Prime subscription, but assuming that you have that for other stuff. You just found my channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so idea is USA people, where did they go? Can we look at Twitter data by country? And then it's like maybe sentiment analysis. This is just spitballing, but what I'm interested to see is, anecdotally, I've seen, there's always that discourse on Twitter or other social media platforms where people are saying, oh, Kaggle is a complete waste of time. Do not spend any time on it. And then there's a group of people who are saying, oh, Kaggle is the greatest thing. Like you can't do data science without doing Kaggle. So definitely like a clear divide in how people view it. And it would be interesting to see if there's maybe a trend over time in the US of people being more on that negative side. And maybe that's caused people to be less likely to become a part of it. Or maybe we'll just find that that people, the same amount of people are on Kaggle from the US, and it's just that they're a lower percentage. So we need to figure that out first. So let's ls what's in our input directory. Okay, so go over here to the right side. We have the Kaggle 2021 survey. Survey 2022. And this needs to be like this. So we could see, let's do my G flash, which will show us everything that we have in this folder. So survey responses.csv, and then supplementary data. What's in supplementary data? I don't think we read about that. Answer choices. These are PDFs. We're not going to read those in unless we need to. Now we want to also add data. We're going to add survey. Kaggle survey. So here's the 2018. Oh, they made this easier to add them. I like this. 2018, 2017, 2020. This is supporting. So what are we missing here? 17, 18. We need 19 and 21. Here's 2021. I think, unless someone's linking me. And we need 2019. This one has 2017 to 2021. So we could also just add this. Let's look at 2019 survey and look at datas. Why is there this cleaned one? Where's the official one? I know where we can find it in the description here. Go back to comps, go to this one, go to data. Oh wait, overview. 2019 is here. Okay, we want to go official here. We used to be able to search by URL. Did they get rid of that? How can you not find relevant? Maybe it needs to be the data tab. Nope. What? Okay, so what if I go into code here and I create a new notebook? Hey, Clipped, what's up? How hard is it to compare Kaggle usage against enrollment in data science certification programs? That's a good question. I don't know where to find that data. Let's copy this path. Oh, that's copying the path. Let's open in a new tab. It's bizarre to me how I can't find it here. Nope. Okay. What's up, Yusuf? We can add this cleaned version. Let's see if there's a 2017 to... We've already added this. Here's this one just has 2017 to 2020. So that should give us everything we need. Now let's go to input directory and let's ls what we have. All right, now we have 2017, 20, yeah, let's do this. So let's first look at this merge data and see what this looks like. I kind of don't like that we'll be relying on how other people decided to merge it. Come on, autocomplete. Don't fail me now. We're going to read in this CSV. Yeah, see? Low memory equals false. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. What calendar is the New Year right now? I'm out of it. Okay, so now we have index, age, gender, country, degree. Poof. I wish we just could add this normal 2019 data. I mean, one thing that we could do is just start from this notebook. It's called the 2019 Kaggle. Close these. Here we go. 2019 survey. Finally found it. Okay. Now I feel much better about this. So now if we go here, we ls the input directory, we can actually remove this one that is cleaned. That's not the official one, I think. We can delete this one that joins them. Ooh, we might be in for a lot of work here to try to figure out how everything looks, but I think we'll figure this out. So let's also, as always, from glob, import glob. This will help us to get a list of everything in the input directory, a list of all the CSVs. So we're just going to star the directory and then look at star.csv. This will give us all the CSV files from all the different surveys. How would you handle a demand behavior analysis for various products? That's a big question. I'm not quite sure. Can we train a large model, then distill it into a smaller model? Why would you do that? Just start with a small model. Me and my friend Aziz are waiting for you live to start from Paris. It's 4 a.m. Wow, you guys are crazy. Did you stay up late? Did you stay up late for me? What is this? I'm not that important. You can watch the rebroadcast. I appreciate it, though. Staying up till 4 a.m. Now I feel like I need to do something interesting. Okay. Responses only. It's 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so why does this 2019 version have all the previous versions? Or 2021? Let's just start with 2022. Kevin from Home Alone, that's right. You got it. All right, we're pulling in these responses as our data frame. Okay, so this happens when the column types are either missing or they're mixed types. So like for half of them, they might be integers and the others strings. So we have to do low memory equals false. Oh yeah, this always also happens. It's super annoying. The way the results look is that we have the first row are actually the questions. So let's go ahead and go up here to set option max columns. It's 500. We're gonna have to do display.max columns. And then if we do this, we'll get all the questions. So let's locate 0. And then we can just make this a dictionary, I guess. What this will allow us to do is have like a 20. This is like our 2022 questions dictionary. So if we like went to Q2, it'll give us the question number for that. And then we could take this data frame and we can drop the first one, which is that. Then we can reset index, right? And then make this our data frame. All right, so now if we look at question 4, I think that's the main one we want to focus in on here right now. Which country do you currently reside? So if we go to question 4 and we do a value counts on this, we're going to see India is by far the top. United States of America is the second. But remember, this is 2022 responses. If I do this just for, if I do our glob, but for responses only. Oh, I need a star here. Now we have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We have two 2020s. And let's put a star here. I'm just trying to hack this so that we can have just the responses. Okay, so this should be just the responses. This gives us all of our CSVs. Yo, 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 Cal, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Let me know in chat if you want to have any specific things. COVID added people on their Kaggle for 2 years. All programs were working online. Yeah, but the thing is, COVID seemed to make Kaggle take a hit in the United States. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to... Should we just make a dictionary out of this? This will help us to map to the correct file by year. Now I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to, because I want this to look clean. Pip install NB black, and we're going to do this quietly. Shh. Love from India. What's up, Ravinder? Then we're going to load this extension lab black, which will make our stuff look beautiful. Look how beautiful it looks here. All right, so now we know this is 2020. This should be 2022. I could probably grep on these or something and do it that way, but hey, this works, right? So now we have key value pairs. 2018, 17, 21. Look good, okay. Look good to you guys? We can remove this. And then, now we don't know if the questions align up is the problem. Wow, we got someone from Kenya watching from 5 a.m. Awesome. Wembugu, I hope I said that correctly. Awesome to have you here. So for year, CSV and CSVs map items. What this will let us do is iterate over each year, right? Now we can try something that I think's not going to work. We can make this data frame list, and then we can do append with PD read CSV of this CSV. And we can also assign the year as year. This will add a column in that says which year it is. And then PD concat these results. All right, so what are we doing here? We're loading in, we should probably do, see, I don't think it's gonna join very cleanly. Crazy Fanatic Man, thank you for loving the grind. We got someone from Germany, people from India, love it. Oh, you guys like the shorts too, nice. Matt D, for what it's world, National Center for Education Statistics looks like it has data valuable on post-secondary programs that might shed light into data sets. Yeah, Matt D, please send me the link to that. So somehow, some way, we were able to concatenate all these years. Now, what we don't know. All right, so if we go. If we go to, if we query. Query where. No, let's take where question 1. Whoa, that was weird. I've never seen that before. What's the shape of this? How are we going to stack all these data? How are we going to stack all this data? Why is it taking so long just to tell us the shape of the data? Come on, Kaggle notebooks, don't fail me. You'll make me have to go offline. Run it locally. Maybe it's because of these low memory. CPU is going out of control trying to load this. It shouldn't be that big of data. We're only using 4 gigs on disk, 5 gigs of RAM. This is the thing that drives me bonkers. Cancel run. All right. The shape is 139 million respondents. Let's just do, hopefully this won't take a while, but year, we can do value counts. Now there's a lot wrong with what I'm doing here. Sort index, mainly that we also loaded in all those questions for each year. Okay, we're also going to do style sheet. Let's just start out with ggplot. We can change it later. Kind is bar. And let's title this. Yeah, so now we at least know the number of respondents by year, although we are counting that column or row in each of the data sets that contains, oh geez, it's not going to like that, that contains the questions. So we kind of need to save those off each time. So let's do this. df temp is going to equal this. And then we're going to do low memory equals false. Let's also do this. Let's assume, I'm not sure, but let's assume that the first location is going to have the questions themselves. Yeah, this will be nice. This will be nice. And then we'll have a dictionary which will store the questions. So for questions of this year, whatever year we loop through, we'll add this dictionary of the questions. Kind of a nice nested way of doing it. And then we'll drop that, reset the index. And we can append this to our main data frame. That way we should have lost. Okay, so I'm doing df loc on the wrong thing. Here we go. Michael, so glad to have you here. Why is it still giving me problems when I'm low memorying faults? Right? Oh, geez. I put my low memory faults in the sign, not in the read CSV. So that's part of my problem. Let's go ahead and do this. OMG, Twitch ADS. What's ADS? Twitch ads. Oh, Twitch ads. What is this? Parser error? Manifold? It broke the manifold? So this happened on 2017 for some reason. Oh, we're going to do CSV map to 2017. Okay, so it read him fine there, but why, if I do low memory equals false, does it give me this error? Low memory. Way too big of text. Change the directory to CSV. We could also try this encoding, but it might screw up. I know this sometimes fixes these errors, but not here. Here's the thing, this 2017 data is odd. Why is this 2017 data not look like the other ones? I'm expecting it to look like this, but it looks like in 2017 they were going rogue. So we're just going to deal with that one separately. I commented out the 2017 one. And we'll deal with that one later. It may be that year they didn't it was before they started being consistent about it. So I'm just going to move these around. Oh, I also have a mapping incorrect. We have 2 for 2020, which should not be the case. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, so 2019, 2020, 2022. I think we're cleaned up here now. Let me just double check I have all the right files for what I'm trying to do here. 2022 survey responses. Then 2021, we're getting it here. 20, 19, 18, and we're skipping 17 for now. So let's go ahead and do it again. Rob, yesterday I went through your video analysis using OpenCV and detection of text images using Carousel CR. Yeah. I'm glad you like that one. I like that one too. By the way, if you're watching in chat right now on Twitch or somewhere else, you can put in !YouTube. Get a link there to my YouTube channel right here. And feel free to drop me a subscription. I would really appreciate it. That video that you were talking about here is, it's somewhere here. What are we doing? What are we exploring? We're exploring the Kaggle 2022 survey data, but we haven't gotten very far yet. So I will put this in the chat too. All right, now we've loaded everything in and we should have a data frame. And we don't know for sure that the questions actually line up with each other. Like it looks like here, question 1 doesn't even have an option for one of these years. Okay. So let's go to year and do our value counts on this. sort index. We should have pretty similar results to what we did down here. We'll just copy this plot, which excludes a single column and excludes 2017. Just a thought. If you do another Python optimization review, you should discuss the difference between append and list comprehensions. Yeah, I need to learn how to explain that before I can do it. Oh, this is major advanced Python. I just started looking into it the other day. This isn't advanced stuff. We're doing pretty basic stuff here, but we're learning here. Rob, can you use the page visit indicator on Kaggle to separate when the user had last activity on the page? You need to separate all abandoned pages on Kaggle. I'm not sure what you mean, Alps. We're not looking at pages here. We're looking at responses to a survey. So I'm starting to regret trying to merge these all together, but let's go ahead and go to our questions. Let's start with 2018 and let's just make sure. Question number 3. So question number 3 in this year is, what country do you reside? Now in 2019, it's the same thing. For a year in range 2018 to 2023, I think. Let's try to print this with our year. All right. So here's the change. In 2022, it's question 4. So when we concatenate these, this won't work, at least with the last answer. So now we can see, since we created a dictionary with all the questions, that these won't line up. And maybe what we want to do is not concatenate everything together at first. It's probably a bad idea, considering that these column names, the question numbers do not line up. So I'm going to go back up here to where we were appending these. And I'm going to make this into a dictionary for the responses. And we're going to add responses for the year. We're just going to add it to that dictionary instead. First argument must be a data frame. Oh yeah, and then we can't concatenate these. I don't know why I just reran that. If you read the CSV with the optional argument headers and set it to one you concatenate, you can get it. Clip, that's a good point. We could read out that header. Then these column names get kind of unruly to read. And we don't know for sure that they actually name this text the same. So let's actually go to, I mean, they may be the same question word for word. And it looks like they are in this case. So in that case, it would work. So if we had done header, we could have read in the CSV and I guess ignored. Let's show what that looks like. Let's look at 2022. CSV map. Low memory. It's false. And then we're going to do, let's check out Shift Tab to see what header does. And it by default will infer that the first row is a header. And actually, if we just cat this file, then we can probably get a good idea of what it looks like. So before loading it even into Python, let's just head this. I think this should work. It's kind of messy to to try to read here, but this is one row, a new line, or a line of text with comma separated, CSV, and then another line of text with all the questions. And look how long these questions are. Yeah, so these are kind of crazy. So if we wanted to actually ignore these question numbers, we would do this. Header. And what can we give header? I think we just give it the value. So here's the documentation. It could just be an integer. You can give it multi-index columns. Okay, so we could give it zero and one as our header and pivot it. So now we have a multi-index column names. I'm not sure how we would pivot this. But this does at least give us this. Now, I don't think we could concatenate on that. Now, if we did just header is 1, does it just ignore 0 or does it add that? Okay, so then it skips everything else. So then we just have the questions and we can concatenate on this. Robert E., yeah, we're coalescing streams. So maybe we should do this. We could also create a joint data frame where we read it this way, where the question names are the column names. We don't need to drop anything. And then our data frame is PD concat data frame. Melt the questions text into the columns and answers into the other columns. Into columns and answers into other columns. Oh, just like having them next to each other? I'm not quite sure. Still not sure. You had me there for a second. Oh, I need to assign this year. Okay, so let's assign year equals year. Sorry, we keep on running this read it. Like we're just reading in the data. And we're ways into this stream. So this is real life data science. It's not always give me super quick, but now I could have done some of this beforehand. What's going on here? Why does it now say our respondents? Am I back up? It said I was down for a second. Now it says I'm back up. Hopefully you can still see me. There we go. Now we got our survey respondents. So it's 2019 and 2022 have the exact same. That seems weird. Yeah, they're just really close. So doing the percentage actually doesn't seem that crazy since the number of respondents isn't necessarily going down or anything. But now if we look at, we should have in this joint data frame, we should have one that says, in which country do you reside? Come on. All right. All right, so we're going to group by year. We're going to find out which country they reside in by year. And we're going to make a plot that kind of looks similar to this. India is going up, United States down. Japan, I guess they said, is going up. Ish. So maybe we should just focus in on DF country is going to be this. I got to spell country correctly. All right, this is our summaries. Let's sum these. And then sort values. This will give us from the most an ascending is false. This will give us the most responded country is, oh wow, other actually beats out United States. And let's take the first 5 of these. No, the first 5. Make this to a list and do top 5. Now we're just going to look at the top 5. We're plot. The kind is a bar. Your chats and links are blocked. Oh no. That sucks. I'm sorry about that. You can go over to Twitch and give the chat links, or you could maybe space it out or something. All right, so now we have this. I guess we could like pivot this the other way, and we should get. Yeah, so this. Whoa, why does 2021 have so many others? Maybe they were missing out on some big countries. What happened with the other in 2021? Is that right? All right, so let's go to our responses for 2021. And let's look at question 4. No, wait, 3. Okay, so in 2021, they really just reduced the number of countries that you could respond with, which seems odd. So in most years, like, let's take this year. You have all these options for countries. You can also say, I do not wish to disclose. Still other comes in third place, but it's weird because other here kind of captures probably a lot of these other countries that weren't listed. It may be like a privacy sort of thing. Like if you have only a certain number of, hey, Light Shadow, subscribe with Prime. Thanks. We always spin the wheel when we get a subscriber. While I take time to spin the wheel, are there any questions about what we're doing? Does this make sense? Sigh into the mic is what it lands on. So this is for you, Light Shadow 54. It's a big sigh. Thanks. What led you to subscribe? Thanks for letting me know in chat. Appreciate it. Let's look at 2019. Okay, so remember it's question 3. All right, so our plot here does not does not include, does not show percentages of respondents. It's just the overall number. So maybe we want to do top 5. Yeah, I don't know. Query. I think I can do this. This is kind of messy. In which country do you reside? Is not equal other. So just drop the others. Yeah, this is just gonna be a mess. So instead, let's take the top 6. Top 5 is gonna be C for C in top 6 if C does not equal other. This is kind of silly. All right, now our top 5 does not include the other category. Big Larry, thank you so much for the kind words. Light Shadow, you saw a bunch of my stuff on YouTube. Thanks so much for using your Prime. Was that a Prime sub? Yeah, it was. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. Thanks, Jeff. Did they remove Russia from here? They did. Or they selectively chose not to add Russia here, even though they are top 5, which I mean, I could see it. Okay, so let's just try to pretty this up. So let's do palette. What is it going to be? CMap is, let's do blues. Does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? And then we're also going to do rotate x-axis labels in matplotlib. I'm pretty sure, let me see if I can do this by memory, but this is going to be our axis, and then we can do axis x lab. I think we do set x labels, and then you do something like rot equals 45. I forget. Oh, it's X ticks. And then we want horizontally aligned. Okay, so we actually have to set X ticks or do PLT X ticks. There we go. All right, now we got some rotated results. And let's do center alignment. -45. Maybe make it like the other one. There. Now it kind of looks like theirs. And then we can also just set title as what country do you reside? And font size as 14. All right. Normalized data. It's just a Jupyter notebook running on Kaggle site. Oh, looks like a Kaggle notebook. People are asking. Check out !YouTube. Go to my YouTube page. Oh, you're probably on it if you're asking in YouTube. I have a whole video on this Jupyter Notebook Complete Guide, where I talk about the differences between Colab, Jupyter Notebooks, those sort of things. So you can click that link and learn more about that. So here we go. We see India on the rise, United States. So interestingly, I think one of the reasons why why we see like a big swing in 2022 in these plots is because we're doing a percent of total. Because you see this, United States did not go up as much as it shows in here, as dramatically at least. If we do the totals. So this is so one thing to keep in mind is, yeah, so the percentage of total respondents kind of tells us one thing. It just says of the population on Kaggle, how many are in each of these countries? That's one question. Now, there's also the question of just how many people from a certain country responded. And that should be independent, I would think, of the total population percentage. So I think the real question we're trying to get at is why did the number of respondents seem to go down? And then I guess it kind of had a little bit of an uptick, but why did it kind of peak out here in 2018 and then go down? Another thing is we don't have 2017, which looks like it had a lot more from the US. So maybe pulling that data in later will be interesting. I kind of want to compare India to the United States in the populations per year. So maybe that's something that we can look at next. Is if we take this, I don't know why I do this. If we take this data frame and we try to look at some of the questions that are in it, what is different between the populations of the United States and India? I think when I looked at this in prior years, a lot of the respondents from India are on the younger side in age. So we do have what is your age in years. So what are some of the differences? Let's look at India versus USA respondents. What type of Kagglers are they? Age, gender, etc. Does this change over years or does it stay the same? So some of the questions, survey questions to look into. Let's try to narrow these down. So age and years, sure, that'll just straight up give us their age. What is your preferred gender? What is the highest level of education? Those are maybe the good ones to start with. Correlation with new users. Yeah, so we don't have any information about each respondent. The respondents just gave their answers and we can't link those to a specific account. It would be really cool if we could see everyone's response linked to their account and then look at how old their account is and stuff like that. But it also could be a little sketchy about like being able to link it to people and then it's not really anonymous. So just keep that in mind. So let's see. Now we kind of want to do a group by. I think we want to do like a. I think we want to do like a double group by, I guess, where we group by. See, I hate having these columns that are like long text, but let's also make a subset of this data where we have df query. Oh, we can't query because of this. We're going to look at this question. Is in the top 5. So we're just going to reduce this down to the top 5. Like this. And we'll reset the index because that's nice and clean. Drop it and then copy this so we actually have a copy of this. All right, and our auto formatter makes it look nice and pretty. I want to make sure that we don't have, for any of these questions, we have any big null values, or like that the questions didn't line up by year. So if we do this, group by year, this value counts, unstack, fill in A as 0 and as type int. All right, what does this give us? The age of everyone across the year. So we're not missing. This is just a check to see if we're missing anything. Nothing's missing there. So it looks like all those questions lined up correctly. Let's ask this second question. So this is where we have an issue. Male, female, male, man, woman. So in 2018, 2019, they asked this question differently than in the other years. So we'll have to deal with that. And then this is a super long question. Looks like there's also an issue here with bachelor's degree, master's degree. There's something with these quotes. So what if I did this? DF top 5. Let's take this question. Replace this weird character. Come on. With just a quote. Here. Will this fix some of our issues? So I'm going to have to actually save over this column. I could rename these columns too. All right, a little bit cleaner. Okay, it's a different type of quote. It's a different type of quote. It's this quote versus this quote. See the subtle difference? All right, so we'll get our top 5 here. Load this again. There we go. All right, so this looks a little bit cleaner. The professional doctorate, it looks like doctoral degree. These need to be fixed up. On which sites do people talk about data science and competitions most? Oh, was that a while ago, that post? If I could learn data science now, how would you tell someone to approach learning from scratch? What separates good data scientists from most of data scientists in the market? I think just like being curious about things is the main thing. Finding something you're excited about and curious and going after that. And if you're legitimately excited about it, you're not just if you're not just like trying to chase the trends and you really actually care about it, that'll set you apart, I think, to some extent. All right, now that this one's cleaned up, let's start with the age comparison. So if we do this, group it by year and by, geez, I hate these. Yeah, no problem. All right, so we take this and the question of which country do you reside? Should I just go through the trouble of renaming these columns? All right, now we can see how can we plot this? Query. Yeah, let's go ahead and rename these columns. This is what I'm going to do. Probably should have done this a while ago. So we're going to take this data frame and we're going to rename columns. And we're going to give these some shorter names. So basically these 3 questions. And then also the country, which country do you reside question. We'll call this country. We'll call this age. And we'll call this gender. We'll call this education. And then we need to finish this bracket. No, what's going on here? Oh, I did some mix up of quotes, double, single quotes. There we go. We could just add this on as a chain, as part of this chain when we create the data frame from scratch. What's the best way to move a column to another position? That's a great question. I always have that problem. And the best way I know to do it is just to do, like, take the column ordering as a list and resort it and then recast them into that different order. But let's see what Stack Overflow says. All right, the top answer actually has this. Okay, so you can actually insert a different column into a specific location and then remove it. That's cool. I did not know about this. A lot of bad responses, it looks like. Gotta always scroll down in Stack Overflow and see if there's anything at the very bottom. Yeah, so this is the solution that I usually do. That's probably not the best way to do it. Oh, or this way, where you just give it a list in the new order and it'll resort it. But this way with the pop and insert does look a lot cleaner. Which universities could add data science training, and this affected the influx of new users on Kaggle? Yeah, that's a good one. Is it work my main work harder or easier than this? It's just different. I think some working with survey data honestly isn't always my favorite. And I don't do that in my day job. I also do some like computer vision stuff. I also do just some like player tracking data stuff, which is all super fun. Okay, so let's do this. So now these are going to be called like age, gender. We're going to have to redo this one too. We're going to replace female with women. We're replacing male with man. Makes it more in line with what it is in the current year's survey responses. And at least now those are at least linked together. And then we could I don't know what the best way to do this is because I don't know what options there were there each year. So we could make an other, but okay, so this is also going to be education and education. And then we're going to do, now we can just do some quick stuff. So now we can query the country equals, and then we could just look for, let's say United States of America, see which ones respondents had that. Group by year. And then do the age grouping. Oh, this year is lowercase. And we could do like a size on this. Yeah, we're going to want to group by year and age. And then unstack this. Can you please complete a course? Tell me complete course online for machine learning. Which topic should I cover? I'm new to ML. Go to my YouTube channel and watch this video. It's got to be this one. This is my kind of response to that question. Good question. So check out that video and let me know if it answers your question. All right, so now we have the age responses for just the United States. And we'll plot this as a bar and stacked equals true. Let's make it horizontal bar plot. No problem. All right, so CMap, let's make this like greens or something. Wow, this is interesting. Okay, so we're gonna do axe legend. Bbox to anchor is going to be, we'll make this bounding box outside, and we'll also make the title equals age of respondents USA. Fig size. All right, so look at this. Can we sort the values? How is this sorted? Sort index. Ascending is false. So this will reverse the order and allow us to sort index. It'll make 2022 at the bottom, which I think kind of makes the most sense. Okay, so this is where everyone's gone. Where have all the Americans gone on Kaggle? They're no longer the young people. It looks to me maybe there's a better way to plot this, actually. And that's by doing age first and then year. What would that look like? And then maybe making the stacked is false. And making this a bar plot and making it... See, this is why I love coding your plots, because you don't have to do a lot once you get it set up right to just switch it around and totally manipulate the data. And now we still have this other plot. But look at that. The difference between like how long it took to make the second plot once the first one was done. All right, so the young people, I don't want to sort this that way, I think. This is it. This is where all the young people went. They left Kaggle. They stopped responding. That's kind of crazy. Between 2018 and 2019, all the young people left. Everything else stayed the same in the United States. Now let's see what it looks like for India. I think it's almost the exact reverse. So let's make this a different color. Oranges. India. And then let's do this as India. I think this should be good. Yeah, what are we seeing here? So do these, maybe I'll put these on the same. So what we're going to do now is put these at the same plot. So make this axis 0 and 1. And we're going to make a subplot. 12 by 8. And we're going to also make it 2 by 1. And we're going to remove the figure size from inside of our plot, pandas plot. Is Kaggle used more by working professionals or by students? It's a good question. That's a good question. If we assume students here, if we assume that students are the younger crowd, then look at these. Look at this plot. This is the main thing that I want to get as our takeaway. And now, I'm not sure if I like the color palette exactly because it makes the lightest color hard to see. But this is sort of answering that question. So back in 2018, this younger crowd, you see this, like, the majority of people were the 25 to 29 age group, and a lot of them. And now it's slowly, not even slowly, but it's shifted over to 30 to 34. I guess 25 to 34 is like now the US Kaggle people. Did I decide to completely ignore 2017? For now, we can go back and get it. Just for now. People got older, and then they also, there's like attrition. And there's young people haven't come back. Like the young people also get older. Like 10-year-olds got older and became 18-year-olds, but then they didn't join Kaggle. Or not to the same extent as before. Now, the crazy thing is, or the interesting thing is, India, it's a lot cleaner of a obvious how it's changed, but back in 2018, they had like the 18 to 25 range, and now it's even skewing younger. So 18 to 21, super into it. That early bump from the Google acquisition. Oh, is that 2017 is when the acquisition was? So that was the big bump. That's a good point. I like this plot though, because I think that US and India are clearly the top two respondents. And we can sort of see why over time that India has gotten more and why it has not. In my previous block chat, the trend of college enrollment in the US has also been dropping. Maybe correlation. Oh. Yeah, maybe correlated. I was just thinking for a second there, what came to mind was, could have COVID actually made there be a hit in this 18 to 21 range? Because I know a lot of people kind of took a gap year there when COVID hit and decided not to go to school. And it could be that people get into Kaggle in school because it's kind of used as an education platform. I don't know. Just some thoughts. So what I want to see if I can do all right, so let's see if we can pull up, and I've done this before. Maybe I'll try to find the actual code for it. To see if we can search for tweets. And I don't want to have to use the I don't want to use this Tweepy API and have to deal with all that stuff. So we're going to go here. Why don't I just show you guys this? Let's go to my Twitch stream projects. Kind of hard to see here. I don't think I've actually pushed it down. So then let's go into my Twitch directory. And let's grep Twitter. I think, yeah, when we're doing the Wordle stuff. Well, that's an empty directory. Oh, this was way back. In March of this year, we were looking at the COVID tweets. I'm just trying to find the package that we're using in that. It's a super easy package to use for Python. If anyone in chat remembers it, let me know. Let's save this notebook while we're at it. Make sure it runs all the way through, and then I'll make it public and share it with you guys. Python package query scrape social media tweets SNS scrape. I think that's it. So there's a command line way of doing this. I thought there was like an... Is it all command line version only? Yeah, and then we could call, so we could just call it using OS. So we could try it. Pip install SNS scrape. Can you w view you? What does that mean, meme beer clams? What does that mean? I don't know what you're saying. All right, now I can do SNS scrape. And let's use their example here. Actually, I can search here too. Grep HNR SNS scrape. Maybe that wasn't it. Let's go to SNS scrape, Twitter. All right, so this will get the latest 100 tweets with archive team, with hashtag archive team. So let's do this with Kaggle. See how it saves the results. Oh, wow, it just really just outputs it. So we will have to pipe this into a file. Or maybe it wrote it into a file. Now let's look in our local directory. Nope, did not. Maybe it's not SNS scrape. I probably should have researched this before. Did I get a degree? Yes, I got a degree in data science. Python, Twitter, data frame. I don't want to use Tweetbee. Oh, okay. Here, look. We did it here in this SNF scrape test. Okay, CD031. Let's Jupyter Lab in here. I can remind myself of how we did it. Where did I get my degree from? It was online from UC Berkeley. Their master's in data science. I recommend it. It's pricey, but my company paid for it. All right, so this is how I did it before. Let's remember. Tweets list one. So we did search from... No, we want to search with the... All right, so I just appended the dates and made it into a data frame, the results. This would just pull all my results. I want to search scraper to be something different than that. I want it to look for let's see if there's some documentation on this. Twitter search scraper. And then we can get the dates. So we could search for just like this. Search for tweets with Kaggle. Okay, so we want to say Kaggle from, let's do 2017, 0101 to all the way to 2018. There may be too many tweets for us to pull here, but this will at least give us an idea. Tweet has no response. Okay, so let's see what the tweet response is. There is no user, but there is a date. There's an ID. There's content. There's username just directly. Should we add the URL? That URL. First off, it's UW. What is this? What is this? I'm so not cool. I don't know about any of this stuff.
Sorry, I don't talk in a uwu voice. I don't know what you expected me to do. Uwu? No! I taught what?
So that's what Uwu is? Is that the meme? I did not know about that one. I like it though. Uwu voice? That's awesome. Uwu. Should I just search for Uwu? All right, so this did not like the fact that I had I don't know if I care about keeping the URL. Let's just drop the URL. All right, so something went wrong. Okay, so I have a break here. So let's just like pull 500. Is 500 too many? Tweet.username does not work. Did you give 311 a test drive yet? No, but I watched some videos about it. It looks like it's going to be awesome. looks like it's going to be great. One of the bummers is I want to have the country region. What's TC outlinks? Some information I'd like to have about the tweets is the text, but also the number of likes in the country of origin. I might have to use Tweepy for that. This will at least give us a bunch. So you can see that, excuse me, there's a bunch of different languages here, clearly. Let's just pull like 1,000. Since that didn't take too long, let's pull 1,000 for each year. So we're going to create a list that we will append. And then in the end, we'll have a data frame. So this year also needs to be an F string. Let's just F string in this year. Right? So we're going to run this for each of these years. Oh, this should be 2023 also. This is going to be year plus 1. Hey, Tijit, welcome. What are you guys saying? You guys saying 311 is great. Yeah, I can't wait to use it. So what are we doing here? We're going through each of the years. We're pulling 1,000 tweets. Then we're making this tweet data frame. We should assign, again, the, oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. No, don't. We should assign the year equals the year. And then we'll append this to a list. We'll concatenate these tweets. Reset the index. We'll drop. And we will copy this. Just always like to throw in a copy. So now it's going to run for each year. And while that's running, I will read the chat a little bit. It's cool to see live how top Kagglers decode the problem. Any tips on someone who wants to participate in their first competition? Great question. I also have a video on that. Not only do I have a video, I think I have a short on it or something, but I'm just, see, I take the top questions that I get in chat and then I try to make a video about them. So you're asking about Kaggle. Everything you need to know to get started in Kaggle competitions. Putting this link in there for you. Marwin says, thank you for your videos. It really helped you. Pandas library for your video. Awesome. That's great. If you can learn how to manipulate data with pandas, you're well on your way to being a successful data scientist. In some ways, there's a lot to learn. It's like never ending learning, but that's definitely a good foundation to have. So I'm glad that you found it helpful. Deleting this stuff. I'm glad we didn't have to do this command line version and that they have a Python API that we can call like this. This is great. I was thinking if you tell the approach to the problems in your video instead of just going to the next step, just like maybe a lot more value. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's what we try to do here in live stream too. Like, I think the YouTube videos I try to edit down to make a little bit quicker. And granted, this is like a live stream YouTube video, right? But the ones that are actually edited down, I do try to keep your attention on it. So like if you do have questions, you can go back and try to learn yourself. But when we do live streams, that's where it's like, ask any questions. Let's go at it. All right, so now we have a data frame with 6,006. I guess that I did 1,001 per year of tweets. Now we could do a lot more than just that. And it looks like we're not just restricted to English here. So they're running a sentiment analysis on this. Might be a little interesting. Here are a bunch of the tweets. And what I was hoping to see is if a lot of different languages here. But I was hoping to see if we could see any differences in sentiment over the years. A lot of these are promotional. Are these only ones that mention Kaggle, like at Kaggle? Just want to make sure it doesn't. Yeah, so it's not just at Kaggle because this one's like has it in parentheses. Matt D, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, so let's try it just to see. I don't think that we're going to get great results from this small of a data set, but offline I can try to expand the data set. So basically to do offline will be run this query for a larger data set for multiple years. Try to figure out the location of the tweet. I know that there's ways of, with the tweet API, I believe, of specifying the region. So we want to compare the US to India. That's the main one. Does India use, here's a question to show how little I know. Does India use Twitter? What percent of India uses Twitter? Okay, they're third. So I guess it's a good, so it's a good platform to see where people are maybe talking about Kaggle. All right, so ideally we take by year and country and we'd aggregate the sentiment. Hey Neo, welcome to the chat. So let's try to do this using transformers. The other thing is, will we need a sentiment analysis model that's specific to maybe some of the languages spoken in India? All right, let's see if I think Transformers is just going to be installed. Proportionary, proportional. It's pretty slim. That's a good point. So even though they are the third most using country of Twitter, they still are a huge country in terms of population. So let's see if we can get this Transformers pipeline running. Indian tweets will be a mix of languages, and some tweets are written in English, but are pronounced in local languages. Yeah, Jacob, we're looking at the Kaggle survey. We're trying to, so this is the big, just to back up here, this is the big thing that we're seeing is, number one, India has become the most popular, the group or the country of origin of the most amount of respondents to the Kaggle survey. I guess they were always high, but they're by far the highest now. United States kind of has dipped down in recent years, and we found that this trend seems to be going where the younger users in the US have stopped caggling as much. Like the average age has kind of shifted from late 20s to more like mid to 30s to late 30s. So we're trying to see if there's any ways we could actually see the sentiment score of tweets throughout the years and if they've changed in the different countries. So people are giving me really good, like, Siddharth, welcome. How's it going? You're from India. Yes. Nice. So can you tell me, so I'm asking naive questions about Indian Twitter. Do people use it a lot? What languages are used? And can we do sentiment analysis, do you think, just using English on Indian tweets? Would that not be fair? Probably wouldn't be. So if we look at Hugging Face sentiment analysis, Bangala, Burt base. So this might be something I need to research. I need some Bengali text about Kaggle. Someone say something about Kaggle and let's see what it... Fill mask? Hindi and English? Oh, okay, so maybe a Hindi. Here's a Hindi BERT model. It's kind of not fair to do the sentiment analysis on, is it? Because this was trained on movie reviews. Maybe we can do that later. Okay, so back to this. Let's just see if I can do the sentiment by year. So we have this tweets data frame. All right, so it doesn't like that this should be to list. And this is where having the GPU on would have been a good idea. Also, does Transformers pipeline have like a progress bar? Zero shot classification. So this is where we like get batches for inference, I think. You can add some custom post-processing. So that's something they'll look into maybe. Let's see if this just runs. So you can see it's really running hard on the CPU. How long did it take for us to download these? Not too long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, let's try it out. Let's turn on this GPU. Let's just get 2 T4s. That's going to restart our session, which is fine. Which will run from the start. Why not automatically translate all the text into English first? Alps, that's a great question. I think that these transformer models, so it picks up more on just like the words that you use, and they can actually pick up on the phrasing and how the words relate to each other. So when you translate from one language to the other, just word for word, you're not going to get all that. And there are, of course, things like that are specific to one language that might not translate over well, like idioms, right? Like, that's burning a hole in my pocket. That phrase in English means something. Like, it's expensive. But if I translated that to a different language, they'd be like, it's burning a hole in your pocket. What's going on? You're crazy. Go Chatty, welcome to the stream for the first time. We just have some nonsense code ideas out there. I don't know. Hopefully this will become something eventually. But we're just trying to get some ideas out there, looking at this. And then we're going to pull the tweets and we're going to try running with this GPU and see if we can get some sentiment analysis. And then we'll call it a night. What do you guys think? All right, so first we scrape the Twitter data. We could save this off. Wait, what? You find Python easy peasy? I didn't read that correctly first. Can we see some examples of tweets that are from different regions? Maybe that will help get an idea. So Rishbash, I'm butchering your name, but that's one of the to-dos, is to figure out how to figure out the location of the tweet. Right now, all I can do is like we visually inspected some of the tweets and I realized that there were different languages being used, but I can't I can't search just one region like India like I would like to. Have you personally heard criticisms of Kaggle? Of course. Yeah, BB Astronaut. A lot of people just emphasize the fact that, and there are valid points, but they overemphasize sometimes the fact that Kaggle kind of serves up the problem to you and doesn't actually make you work on creating the problem, if that makes sense. Like gathering the data, cleaning it, thinking about what will help out your business the most with data. These are some of the really hard problems to solve as a data scientist. And at least when you only look at competitions, it's like handed over to you. We've already done all that. Now just run an algorithm that gives us the best result. Which I think are like two different angles of data science. So, can I use a different language instead of Python? I could, but I don't want to. Yeah, you never get the data on a silver platter. Yeah, and also in real data science, well, it depends on the work you're doing. But in like a typical big company data science role, oh yeah, this is going to give me these errors. I hate this. Kaggle notebooks have been doing this lately. But in a typical data science role, you're not, the model actually isn't that important. Sounds weird to say, but figuring out the problem sometimes is more important than the model itself. Would I work on the NFL challenge on Kaggle? I could work on it for fun, but the thing is I work for the NFL indirectly. In my day job, so I couldn't like really compete and be I would be disqualified from that competition if I tried to actually compete. You know what I mean. All right, so it got some negative, positive. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will have cool results. Can we get a progress bar? How did I become a data scientist? I need to make a video on that one, Oscar. That's a good question. I went back to school for it, but I also just started doing data science-y sort of things in my day job. All right, so now we are running the sentiment analysis pipeline on these 6,000 tweets per year. Then we're going to get the label and the score. And we're going to concatenate this with the tweets themselves. And then we're going to look and see if the trend has changed over years. If not, maybe this is not an interesting problem and we'll just drop it there. But hopefully we'll find something cool. We can also see, is this not even using our GPU? Maybe I didn't set it up correctly. I thought inference would run on the GPU, right? So we did all that restarting and running for nothing. We can take the mean of the negative and positive tweets and plot a histogram of it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Maybe I should have done some chunking. It is nice. Oh, they only give you 13 gigs of RAM on this 2 GPU machine. How would I define data science? I don't know. It changes every year, Sir Edward. It changes every year. It's kind of, so it used to be someone who knows math and statistics who could also code. It seemed like that was pretty much the consensus about 5 or 6 years ago. But now now that's kind of become more specialized, and it's like who can do more of the math and science than coding, who can do more of the coding becomes like an engineer, machine learning engineer than the math and science. And then you also have like who can do the business stuff more, and they're like more analytics data scientists. So it's kind of like 3 different groups. That's what I would say. I don't know if it's right, but that's what I said. This is my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Guys, I hate not having progress bars, especially when I'm sitting on stream. Transformers, pipeline, progress bar, and use GPU. This one. Okay, so I probably should have made a data set and then iterated over that with TQDM. That makes more sense. How to find different libraries that can do our work more quickly than regular libraries. It completely depends on what you're trying to do. What's my model selection process? It really depends on the problem. Are we going to call it? Should I just call this? Call it in terms of like not do this part right now on stream? Let's see how to do this data set thing. So let's try to create a data set. I mean, what's the problem with just, I could chunk it myself, right? For tweet in TQDM tweets. And then I could run this. These are tweets, by the way. Then I take this tweet. See if this at least works. All right, there we go. We'll probably just need to append with this first value. We want this to use the GPU though. Device. Can I give it use fast? What's use fast? Oh, I see. So it was taking 10 minutes and we were just not being patient. Pipeline, use GPU, inference. Pipeline supports running CPU or GPU through the device argument. There is a device argument. We're -1. Okay, so here we go. This is going to take 10 minutes. We got to make it faster. So let's see if we can do device equals 0. We don't need the data sets anymore. Okay, so now it's going to take 40. There we go. Now we're using at least one of the GPUs. That's why GPUs are awesome. That's why GPUs are great, people. Let's clean this up. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. We're at the end here. We're just about at the end. Any method for getting OpenAI Whisper to reduce noise from background? Sometimes it detects a word with just noise. I don't know how you would do that. We'd have to kind of get into how they created that. So we're going to PD concat tweets. With the sentiment. I wrote a Vulkan renderer working on the GPU that way is complicated. Index 1. Oh wait, why am I going crazy? Axis equals 1. All right, so what we'll do here is we'll take the label equals negative. If it equals negative, we're just do a score underscore, which is going to equal our score, except for when it is negative. We'll multiply it by -1. Will this work? We'll do this score underscore. There we go. All right, so what we did here is now we have score underscore. Let's plot this. Kind is a histogram. So surprisingly, it's saying most of the sentiment is negative. Let's just group by the year. And then we'll say label, value counts, normalize, and then unstack this. True. Our title's going to be Kaggle tweet sentiment by year. We're going to anchor this outside again. All right. We only have 1,000. We only have 1,000 tweets for each year, but we're at least seeing some differences. Maybe this will even out the more that we get and it'll just become flat. I'm interested to see which ones have the sentiment that are so negative. Why are they mostly negative? Did I do something wrong here? This is the most negative tweet, apparently. This is very disappointing outcome. I thought a company like Kaggle will own up to their mistakes until taking away money that competitors won fairly. Not a good PR move. Okay, hey, look. This is definitely a negative sentiment. Good on you, model, for doing that. Let's see the second worst sentiment one. Why are you even asking? R looks like it was put together by... Oh, yeah, this is a very negative one. People are just negative on Twitter is what I think. Let's see the most positive one. That was fantastic. You're the best. Good luck and congrats. I'm sure you'll do great wherever you are. Kaggle will miss you. That's someone, RC Tapeman, when she left Kaggle. But it's very positive. I guess Twitter is negative. If we just took like a random topic, would it be mostly negative like this? That sucks that people are like that. But am I reading too much into this to say maybe this trend, let's look at it this way. Just look at the positive responses. And do a bar chart. The sentiment, this is the positive sentiment. It was the highest in 2017. And that also is when, at least in the US, if we assume these are a lot of US tweets, 2017 is, does this follow? Does this plot look anything like... This could be the story, folks. This could be our story. This is the story, okay? Hear me out. We want to put these on the same plot. I'm just trying to put these on the same plot so we can talk about this story. This will be here. Okay. Let's maybe share x equals true. Okay, we don't have... this title could be... U.S. respondents went down, went up. Sentiment went down, but it's on an upward trend. So here's the story, is that maybe if the sentiment continues to increase, the U.S. participation will also increase. How will I save the tweets? Someone asked that. I'm just going to save them as a data frame. I mean, it's a pretty small thing, but we'll run on a bigger one. Maybe filter out replies to threads and analyze the top level tweets. That's a good point. Hi from India, Govind. Welcome. All right, so this is cool. I'm pretty happy with the result. Given the fact that we just dove into this, we're able to find some information about the Kaggle survey. We were able to pull some tweets. We were able to see potentially a story unfold where sentiment follows. See, I don't think these are lined up correctly. Let's unshare this. I think actually, if we look at this wider out, the sentiment leads the US respondents. So that means to say, so this first bar is 2017, the highest. 2018 was high, but then the dip came down in 2018 and took a year for the amount of people who were involved in Kaggle to fall off. So if it is on this upward trend, then we may see more people from the US start to join. I don't know. Can we see the negativity and positivity between tweets on the basis of election year? Oh, like just to see in general? I don't know. We're about to end stream here, so I'm not going to pull up the election tweets, but that would be a cool idea for a different stream. All right. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We're going to end stream here. And if you're following me on Twitch, we like to raid people who are also streaming data science. Nixon. Nick Wan, the man, the legend. Let's give him a raid. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Hope you learned something in the process. If you have any questions, make sure you write them in the comments, like this, subscribe it. The more that you interact with the videos, the more that they'll get views, and I appreciate that. So again, exclamation YouTube will give you my YouTube. We have a Discord you should join, exclamation Discord. So that link's going to be in the chat. We also have, if you do exclamation point Kaggle, you can see my profile where there's a bunch of data sets that we created on stream. And I think that's it for now. Oh, of course, check me out on Twitch if you aren't already. Following's free on Twitch, and it helps me out. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm glad that you get all of you new people that are here. I'm glad that you're here. So let's give the raid on. Nick is looking at some Kaggle leaderboards, so that'll be fun. And yeah, let's bring the positive vibes. I will see you all next time I stream, either Thursday or Sunday. We'll see. I'll try to be on Thursday though. I got to think of something to stream. All right. See you next time. Bye. All right, YouTube. Bye to you guys.